Theresa.
I'm Mike,
And we're millennials and we're making it.
And on our channel, we discuss all topics that meet within the intersection of millennials, marriage, and special needs parenting.
And the topic that we're going to discuss today is divorce.
Divorce.
Divorce. So, because we not divorcing till we die. So this is particularly has been this has been a topic that has been particularly impactful for us since we've become some of those parents in the special needs community. And we have been under the impression, what did you think the rate of divorce was in special needs parents?
At least maybe 50-60%.
I had read and saw quoted multiple times 80%. And I said it, I think even on here before, that it was 80%.
I was close.
And that is extremely high. I think national average, now it's gone down a little bit with the economic downturn. Millennials are actually getting married later, and so a lot of times they're staying married. But it's still right around 50%. It's still rather high. So 80% is 30% higher than the national average, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And that 50% is for all divorces. If it's your first time marriage, your rate of divorce is normally around 60. If you're both college educated, I think the rate of divorce is no, I got that backwards. If it's your first time getting married, the chances of you staying married are 60%. And then if you're both college educated, the chances are you staying married are around 80%. So the rate of divorce is on like 20%. 50% is for everybody. So that includes people who've been married 7 times and people who've been married one time. And so that's of all marriages in the United States. But for families, for marriages that include children, the rate of divorce on average is about 20%, which is really low.
Yeah.
So children, make it more likely for you to stay married. And with families with special needs children, it's only 22%. So that's only 2% higher than other families. And this was another thing. Now, I got all this information from an article that talks about a couple of stories on parent.com. It's a website for parents. And it talks about all parents, not just special needs parents. But they did a study reviewing the rates of divorce between families that do not have children with special needs and families that do have a child with special needs. And the more kids you have in a traditional marriage, that includes man and a woman with kids, the more likely you are to be divorced. And all the parents that are watching this said amen. But if you have a special needs child, and they only study families that have one special needs child, and you have more children, you are less likely to get divorced.
Yeah,
we're not having any more kids, so we're gonna take that one. We're gonna take that one. And they were more studies need to be done, but they were speculating that this is because there are more people to take care of the special needs child, and so the more people you have around, kids become helpful after a while. If nothing else, when they're little, they can entertain, and then they're like, could you imagine if Macy had a sibling that was like 5 years older than her, though they'd be 12 now, and like the help them have, like giving her a bath and entertaining her and helping her get dressed? Oh gosh. So I could see, that being helpful. But some things to consider. This study is an average. It does not include a lot of minorities. It does not include non-traditional families, or families with multiple children with special needs, which often tends to be the case. If there are multiple children, there is a higher possibility that you will have another child. Higher, but not high. A higher possibility that you will have another child with special needs. So Michael is serious. We're not having any more kids. Don't ask. And Macy does not want any more kids. Real life situation. Macy is terrified of babies. the smaller they are, the more scared she is. Right now, our baby nephew is still a baby. He's like 15 months and he's walking and terrifying her.
Shout out to my little homie.
It is the most humorous thing in the world. I don't know what it is, but she don't want babies to touch her. So, real serious question. Have you ever considered getting a divorce?
No, I wouldn't say I consider getting a divorce. I consider leaving. But,
Yes, I think that has been a consideration for both of us. Like, I think um, with every marriage, that gets a point where you're just like, oh no, what did I do? I got married and now I can't leave. Like, I think all marriages get to that point. I remember when we were reading the book, um, not the same guy who wrote Love Languages, that guy.
What I wish I known before I got married.
Yeah, the 21 things I wish I knew before I got married. He talked about, like, in most marriages, there comes a point of, like, deep regret. Like, oh gosh, what, like, it's really what it is. I think it is the understanding of how serious marriage is. Like, it gets past the butterflies and the lovey-dovey stuff, and it's the understanding of how serious marriage is. And you're like, oh gosh, really? Why are you smiling? What is that smile?
I know how you really feel.
We've had this conversation before. So, today we're going to talk about some of the things that we have discovered over 10 years of marriage that we'll be married 10 years in December.
You said over 10 like we on 15 or so.
But we've been together for more than 10 years. Can we just call it 10 years? It's like 3 years. 2020 has been a lot. I just want to claim the 10 years right now.
I guess I'll give you 20.
Okay, so in 10, yes. Yeah. So in 10 years of marriage in December, these are some things that we have discovered that are really helpful in making sure that this marriage lasts the long haul. Right? Because it's our desire to stay married. Not from any, and I'm speaking for myself now, but not from any obligation to be married, but I actually want to be married to you. Right?
Correct.
You sure?
100%.
Okay. So one of the first things is that has helped us in our marriage is to take responsibility for taking care of yourself.
That sound familiar?
Yes, self-care. That is really important. It's something, I think it's one of those lessons that I have learned in the past couple of years, and it has probably had the most impact on our marriage here recently. Mm-hmm. Just making sure that we take time to do self-care. And one of the ways that I keep track of the self-care that I am trying to be better at doing is the Self-Care is Not Selfish journal. I got this from selfcarewithherbs.com. This is just a journal, and you can just write in it. And I keep track of all the times that I take a moment and I'm intentional about doing anything that is just for me, that is helpful for me. I got this from the sweet goddess Shunny at www.selfcarewithherbs.com. The link will be in the description. She also has stuff like yoni steams, love soaks, all sorts of teas, and I think she started a herb smoke. It ain't weed. Chill out. We ain't smoking weed. But you can go to her website for more information. And it gives you like little tools. My husband actually created a yoni stool for me. Like, we got like a shower stool, and he like fixed it up for me so it could be like a yoni stool, because those things don't use plastic. But those stools are kind of expensive. Like, they were like $200. And with about $40 and $50 and a handy husband, I got a yoni stool. But just to take, it's something that you want to take a moment every single day if you can to just do something that's just for you. There are some, we talked about too, some things that we do individually, and then there are some things that we do as a couple, you know, to make sure that the other one is taking care of themselves, right?
So always make sure you're taking a break from your marriage sometimes. Just go out and, you know, take care of you.
Yep.
Also, shout out to Goddess Shiny.
Yeah. So, what's this next thing, babe?
So, great ways to be more intentional about self care. Communicate about everything honestly, including the possibility of divorce.
We have actually talked about like what our divorce would look like if we ever got to the point of um, actually being serious about getting divorced. Because, and I think it's something that playing around divorce is not something that we have the luxury of because we have a child with special needs and
Yep.
that comes with extra care. I know that people who have more money, they talk about divorce before they get married because, prenups. And sometimes post nuptials, but but seriously though, especially if you have these businesses, you employ people. That's serious. Like if you stay married, that means so and so has health insurance to take
No,
care of their family.
I'm
So
laughing because I
what?
ain't had that luxury.
No, that is no. Mm-mm. We talk about divorce so our child can make sure our child has the services that she needs, but not just the possibility of divorce, but how communicate on what's going on in the marriage outside of just the day to day things that you need to do to keep the house running, but talk to each other about your relationship, about hopes and dreams, about where your family is going. We do that every year,
Yeah.
though, at the beginning of the year. So, how has that helped you, like talking about the relationship? How has that helped you
I
since you started doing
mean,
that?
it's very helpful. I get to see what I need to work on, and it also shows the things that I'm excelling at that I didn't even know that I was excelling at.
I think a lot of times communication is saved for when something is wrong and we don't take time to talk about the stuff that's going right. Like we talk about bills all the time when ain't no money to pay them. But we really talk about bills when they're getting paid and getting paid on time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And same thing goes for relationship. We rarely talk about, hey, we're not having any problems right now in our relationship. We're communicating good. Sex is great. We went on a date. Our kids acting right. Oh, by the way,
You can say that on camera.
yes,
Oh,
we're married. We have sex. Sorry if yeah. But that you don't talk about it when it's going good. But when there are issues, like when you feel like you're being neglected, you talk about that all the time. And so being intentional about, communicating all the time and honestly, too, like and this is something that I thought about. This is what I was trying to think of earlier when we were making these notes. Um, our relationship now is different from when it started, duh. But the way that we're comfortable talking to each other now is not the same as when we first got. We weren't this comfortable with each other when we first got married.
no.
We no,
No,
like
I actually, no, nah. I was comfortable discussing some of the things, but over time it took, I can tell you wasn't comfortable talking about some things.
like what?
Not saying that in a bad way.
Like
I mean, it's
what? I
just,
mean, but that's true. I believe you. But like what?
so we'll save that for another video.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about the things that we weren't comfortable talking about when we first got
See that?
married.
I'm
But there were some things you
creating
weren't comfortable.
content.
There were some things you weren't comfortable talking about when we first got married. You weren't totally comfortable with everything because I can remember some things you confided in me when we had been married for a few years. You don't remember that?
We'll save that for another video.
Oh, but yeah, so communication is always key in every relationship, but open and honest communication builds over time. And so you can expect that to be built over time in your marriage as well. And there's also, we kind of touched on this when we talked about communication, but it's important to remember that you're a couple. Like, we're not just partners in running the business of our home. We're not just parents. This is my boyfriend. I told him the other night, sometimes I just want to hang out with my boyfriend. And like, he really is my boyfriend. Am I still your girlfriend?
Of course.
Yeah. And so I heard this, I probably on Red Table Talk or maybe Oprah said it. And when she was talking to some relationship guru, it sounds real opery, but like there are three parts. Oh, you know where I probably heard this from?
Hmm.
The Love Hour with Liz and Kevin on stage. But there are three parts to every relationship. There's you, there's me, and there's the actual relationship. And so you take time to take care of you with self care, and you devote time to your partner,
Hmm.
right? You don't be. Let me finish before you're silly. You devote time to your partner, but you also have to think about what's going to make our relationship thrive and excel and move away from divorce, right?
Correct.
Because you have to be actively trying to avoid divorce if you don't want to be divorced. What were you going to say? That was a joke.
We're in a lifetime entanglement. Shout out to Will Smith and
Don't
Jada.
know. I mean,
I meant that with no. I meant that with no beef, Will or Jada. It was a joke to make her laugh. That's all.
oh God. Woo,
Love both
Jesus.
y'all. Y'all still one of my favorites.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna have to adjust the sound on that part. Good grief! And I'm glad I moved the microphone away from me. Sorry about that, y'all. My husband's hilarious, but true. We're in a lifetime entanglement, and we are the only two people involved. Your turn.
Also, establish relationship norms early and talk about them often.
Because they'll probably change over time. What are some relationship norms that we established early? I remember one that you established when we were dating.
No, well, that's another story for another time.
No.
Go ahead and tell me what you're going to say, and then I'm
The
gonna tell you.
relationship norm that you established when we were dating,
Mm-hmm.
we don't put our business on social media.
Correct.
Now, we do clown on social media all the time. So if you post something and and I think it's funny or he thinks it's funny, there's a high probability that me and my husband will clown in the comment section. Sorry about that. And y'all gonna see it because he's funny.
Another thing, don't bring other people's relationship into ours.
What you mean?
So meaning, if you're having a discussion with one of your friends,
Mm-hmm.
and she's talking about something her husband ain't doing,
Mm-hmm.
don't bring what you're feeling from her relationship over into ours.
Oh, okay. So her husband ain't doing right and ain't washing dishes, and you don't wash dishes one night, and I get
No,
mad.
that ain't what I'm saying.
What you saying?
I'm saying both of y'all angry because such and such ain't doing something, and then you start taking out on me, and I ain't had nothing to do with it.
Have I ever done that?
Yes.
I have not. You hate telling tales.
The first year of marriage. I remember the scenario like it was yesterday.
What was the scenario?
I ain't finna put their business out on here. So.
I have no recollection of this. So if I don't remember, it didn't happen. So, what are some other relationship norms? Let's see. Oh, we just talk. Don't cheat. Like, that's our relationship norms. I know there are open marriages, and we talked about this when we were getting ready for this video. There are open marriages and stuff, and if you establish in your relationship that your marriage is going to be open, you been going out with somebody else is not cheating. But for us, for Team Lawson, we established this early on. If you feel like you got to cheat, just let me know so I can pack up my stuff and go.
That is not how we said that.
How did we say it then?
We were saying, instead of cheating, I would rather you come to me and tell me that this relationship isn't working and why it isn't working before we pack our bags and leave.
Oh, so we're going to work on it first?
Of course.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm just joking. You done turned over my tickle box and now I'm going to be giggling the rest of the video. You did it.
I turn a lot of people's tickle box on. That's
No,
what I do.
no, I'm the only tickle box that need to be turned over.
No, I'm a comedian.
I can't stand you. Oh. So, yeah. So that is probably the more, what's it? Adult thing to do. Talk about ways that your relationship isn't working. And, if it gets to the point where you feel like you want to cheat, it's probably because you have not done the first three things that we talked about. Communication, taking care of yourself, taking care of the fact that you're all still a couple. If you get to that, but that's why it's important to do the little things to avoid, learn from other people's mistakes. Don't be in entanglements in these streets. What's this last one?
Remember that each of you will change over time.
And I think that is, who was I talking to about this? I can't remember. I was actually talking to a friend who is going through a divorce about this the other day. Um, and I don't know how we got on the topic, but we were talking about her divorce, and she made mention of the fact that you have all of those conversations before you get married. Well, how many kids do you want? What kind of job do you want? Are you going to have? Like, what are your goals for a family going forward? And never in her calculation did she calculate that the person she was having those conversations with was being honest about what they wanted at that time, but they changed.
Hmm.
And so, because they were dealing with other issues, like the core of what that person wanted changed, and she didn't know it until they had another conversation. But, well, what do you want? Not that, but you said I changed my mind. And that's true. People change over time. And so, you as a couple and as individuals, you need to be aware of the changes that you're experiencing and your views and your wants and desires from your spouse and for your life and for your family, so that it's not a surprise 10 years down the road. You know what I mean? Because Rome isn't built in a day, and marriages aren't dissolved in a day either. Like, you have divorces are final on a day, but marriage has been over for years before divorces are final. Does that make sense?
Facts.
That was a really deep conversation because I don't want to get divorced. Um, I don't think anybody goes into marriage wanting to get divorced, but there are people who end up wanting divorces. And a lot of times it's because what you want, irreconcilable differences literally means we no longer want the same thing and we can't reconcile the difference between what we want.
I don't know. It's 2020. They got some people probably do want a divorce. They're crazy.
Get married and want a divorce? I don't think so, baby. I don't think so at all.
2020, man. They coming up with all kind of trends.
Conscious uncoupling?
Do what?
We'll talk about it later. So, how are we doing and working together as a team, babe?
We're doing wonderful. One positive thing that I noticed, I noticed that you're doing self-care. You're trying your best to take very good care of yourself, which is why I actually have a legit excuse this time. I actually can't come up with anything negative because, like I said, you've been trying to take care of yourself this whole week. So, I mean...
And we'll talk more about that later, but yeah, or another video for another time.
Yeah,
but
another video.
I appreciate that, babe. I've noticed that you have been really, really trying to be my boyfriend. Like, really focusing on making sure, just so y'all know, we've had the week off as parents. Macy is with my grandparents. No. She's with her grandparents and my parents. And so that has given us time to be with each other. And it goes by so fast. We're about to go get her the day after tomorrow. Like, we got 2 more days, less than 48 hours together alone. And so often we get that time and we focus so much on the things that we need to get done around the house because you have all this kid-free time in the house. I'm going to clean up her room tomorrow for real though. But like, I cleaned up both of the bathrooms and kind of did some remodeling in the bathrooms and redecorating. And
she's just gonna retrace it.
It's a mess.
You know how
like, give her. I do want to go through her toys and get rid of all those broken toys and stuff.
Yeah,
I have not done that this year, and it's
that.
gotten. But like, I haven't done it because one, I've been trying to take care of me, and we've been just kind of hanging out and being coupling, and hanging out and enjoying each other's company. That has been really nice. If you can, like, it's hard with the Rona in these streets, and everything that's going on, but if you can get some time away from your kid for a couple of days just to be a couple, you have to have that at some time during the year. But yeah, I appreciate you just being my boyfriend this week. One thing that I want you to do, stop stressing so much. And I think I've done that to you with my stressing in the past. Like, I'll try to fit as much as I can in the day so that I feel accomplished, but, relax.
Hey man, stuff gotta get done.
I appreciate stuff got to get done, but it ain't got to get done today. And if
Okay.
them clothes stay clean on that love seat until they all get dirty again and need to be rewashed, that's fine. We can just live with the clothes on the love seat for now. You don't have to spend 2 hours folding them up.
It ain't gonna
We
take me
have
2 hours.
we have no dirty clothes. This is what happens when I do laundry. There are no dirty clothes in our house. There are no towels in the cabinet, and there are no new clean clothes in the closet because they're all on the couch. Because I wash the clothes, I dry the clothes, but I'd be too tired to fold them.
Y'all remember in the other video she said I was the laundry ninja?
He is, and
That's
I
why
should have.
It don't take me no 2 hours. Give me
I
10,
should.
give me 10, 15 minutes.
I should have left it for him because if he had been doing it, like there would not be a love seat full of clothes. I just be accomplished that they're not dirty.
Give me 10, 15 minutes and it's done. You also give me $10, $15, I'll come to your house and do it.
No, you need to do more than that. If you're gonna be gone from this house long enough to do somebody else's laundry, you need to charge $10, $15 every 15 minutes.
Look, I tell you what.
What?
You give me $50 for the day I'll babysit and I'll wash clothes.
That's still not enough money.
Give me $150.
You are devaluing yourself, sir.
Look, hey, just imagine if I get multiple people in the comment section that say I need you.
Also, we're looking for a nanny. If you're willing to do a background check, hit me up.
And a drug test.
Oh yeah, and a drug test too. Like this real deal. We're looking for somebody to come in our house and deal with our child. So.
I really don't have no drug test, but please.
No,
we're doing
a background check and drug test.
How you gonna? Who gonna deal with that urine? Not me.
Huh? No, we're not doing the drug test.
Okay.
My Lord. So guys, don't forget, it's our goal to create a community that is both encouraging and inclusive. So don't forget where you can find us. Team Lawson on YouTube and on Facebook. On Instagram, we're Team Lawson 225. Our Google number is 504-252-0531. And our email is teamlawson225@gmail.com. Send us your questions, your comments, your video topic ideas. We look forward to hearing from you, and we'll see you in the next video.
Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our content.
I didn't say that?
And share with someone who might need it.
Yes, because someone out there needs it.
You did not say that.
We'll see you in the next video.
God bless you.